running for office, the details really, really matter. Otherwise, you're going to end up ending your campaign before it even starts.
Hi, my name is Steve Anderson, and this is Jasvinder Sandhu. This is the Healthy Democracy Project, the Ready, Set, Run series. Today, we're talking about logistics, forms, and dates.
Actual walking in of your form.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you can't file this online. You have to actually go in there and do it. There's a fee.
And it varies depending on what office you're running for. But I can say in the last elections, the town introduced electronic voting.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
That certainly made things efficient. And it actually allowed greater voter participation. And the numbers actually went up.
Yeah.
Right? And so while there's some things that may be seen, particularly to our youth, as archaic in the sense that, I have to walk in a paper and hand it in and have somebody look at it. The municipalities are adopting technology to make the entire process a lot easier. Right. It is serious business, right?
Yeah.
And some of these things that you just can't do online.
No, right. I totally agree. There's like a special location that you need to do this. I know that I'm thinking back to my municipality at the time. It was a specific part of the office where all this information was being given and taken. Just make sure you're going to the right place. You're doing it in the right timeline.
And you talked about the importance of really getting to know your city or your town staff.
Yeah.
And so if you're just submitting a bunch of forms online, you're really missing out on that relationship. And so I think getting there, if you're fortunate enough to be elected, these are the people that you're going to be working with for the next 4 years. They're there to support you. As an elected official, there are many reports that we need in order to make decisions. And who do we go to? We go to our staff. Staff, could you go and pull up a report or come up with a report so that it'll help us to make a decision? So they're like our right-hand man or woman, or
they're the neck.
Call it that.
Yeah,
they're the brains behind the operation.
They run things.
And so having that relationship from the very beginning, I think is crucially important.
What they're actually delegated to do, what the clerk's office is delegated to do and mandated to do, is be neutral. They can't make decisions from a political perspective. They are actually there to be a neutral resource for people who do want to run for office. So if you're looking for, really good guidance and clear guidance, they are required to provide that information to you, regardless of whatever political leaning they have. What are some of the non-negotiable dates? Like we were talking before about ending your campaign before it even starts.
Really, the simple answer to your question is go to your town or your clerk's office, city's office, speak to the clerk, or maybe go online and see what those important dates are. There's a time when you have to turn in your application, and when you do file that paper, there's I think a deadline as to when that application closes, as to when you can actually file for your nomination. So again, these things are important that you pay attention to, but this information is all available on either your local municipality's website or again, going in and speaking to the clerk, as you mentioned before.
Not only from a nomination perspective, but like simple things like when you're allowed to put up signs. When does all of your campaigning need to be done? What areas can you actually campaign in? Can you do stuff outside of your ward? Can we talk a little bit about the 25 signatures? So I know that some people have struggled in the past maybe to even collect them. I remember how difficult it was for me, at least initially.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get on a roll. Do you think people need to get more than 25?
I think it's a safe bet. It makes sense that the more the merrier, as I would say, just in case there's an issue or somebody changes their mind, that's always possible. Yeah. Initially, I thought, man, that's going to be easy.
I know 25
signatures. Yeah. Lo and behold, it wasn't as easy as I thought, to be honest with you. Because it's not like grabbing your high school buddies and saying, hey, listen, fill out this form for me, right? In their minds, they're thinking, well, if I sign this, does it mean that I'm endorsing you?
Yeah.
Does it mean that I now have to vote for you? So don't be surprised where you go and you ask somebody that you would normally see at the grocery store, you're saying hi and bye, or in the driveway, and then all of a sudden you ask them for that signature. They're like, well, I don't know. What that's really telling you is that, that person's really giving it some thought, and as they should, right?
Absolutely.
And you want people not to be free willy-nilly when it comes to that. You really want to get people who are in your community that are on the voters list, but you want to make sure that you're getting those signatures of people who are likely to be casting a ballot for you.
Yes. I don't know if a lot of people know that your nomination papers actually get published, right? So they are publicly available documents, like the budget after you're done running your campaign. Your budgetary form also gets published after you're done running for election. Like these things are publicly available. So people's names, potentially addresses, are going to be available online for many, 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 many years.
Yeah.
And so there could be some sensitivity around that. And I think everyone needs to be aware of that.
And unfortunately, And again, credit to the staff. They're very diligent and they're making sure that they're actually vetting these names, they're vetting the addresses.
Yep.
Because it's not uncommon. We've heard of situations before where people are putting names and people who actually don't live in the municipality. Just make sure that when you're doing it properly, you're doing it with integrity. Because as Jasvinder pointed out, it's going to be something that's published and it's going to be vetted by staff. So there's no hiding. There's no trying to beat the system. You'll beat yourself at the end of the day. And so just follow the rules. There's the local municipality office that you can go and get information. But I do want to give a plug here because AMO has tremendous resources as well.
Yes, I agree. AMO is the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. And AMO is a fantastic organization that brings, quite frankly, all of our municipalities together, not only from a local and urban perspective, but also from a rural perspective. And we have been privileged enough to work with AMO on the Healthy Democracy Project, which has really been helping everybody, I think, in the entire Ontario sphere and maybe even larger, really kind of understand what it takes to run for election and what some of the maybe even detracting points are that are precluding people from running.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's been a really, really, really cool opportunity and really cool space to be working in over the last little bit.
Yeah, as elected officials, you and I had the privilege to work with AMO very closely.
There's an AMO conference.
AMO conferences, typically in Ottawa.
Yeah.
We were fortunate to be named respectively as municipal trailblazers.
Yeah.
I mean, so AMO does fantastic work. So again, there's no lack of information that's out there. Important, you have to know where it is. And certainly AMO is also a great place to start as well.